Hi, Substack storytellers and magic makers. I haven't done a video on here yet, and I thought it would be kind of fun. I think it's high time I get on here and say hello, put a face to the words. And lately, I've had a lot of new subscribers and followers, which is really fun. Thank you so much for supporting me and for being here. I appreciate it. And yeah, so I thought, well, maybe I'll get on here and talk a little bit about who I am and why I am, why I'm here. So obviously, my name is Susie. So nice to meet you all, sort of. And that really is a great start to this for me. Is as much as I love, of course, having followers, and I love having subscribers. What I really love is having like soulful connections. And so that's another reason I wanted to hop on here. I wanted to kind of get away from just words on a screen to an actual face. And I'd love to start, maybe I'll start a chat too, because I'd love for us to get to know each other and, what we're looking for out here in the world, in the Substack world. Um, Basically, a little bit about me. I live in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and I am an author and also a tarot advisor, which probably most of you that are here already know this about me if you read this Pen and Tarot newsletter. But as far as an author goes, my first written work was called The Badass Planner, which was really fun. It was one of those things that I just came up with randomly, threw out there just to see what would happen. And 2 months later, it got picked up. And that was really amazing. And also, hopefully, something for you to remember that sometimes that kind of stuff can happen. If you have a really good idea that you feel strongly about, put it out there because you never know. Now, unfortunately, COVID put an early end. It was out for about 5 years, and sadly, they went in another direction, but it kept me in the calendar world. I also have a couple fun little desk calendars out. One's called, it's a horror trivia one, and the other one is a Spellbound, it's called. Anyway, and so those are fun. I mean, gosh, they're probably discounted now because it's already almost April. But now you can say you know someone that writes those desk calendar things where you tear away every day. It's really fun. Really, what I'm most proud about is my book called Little House Life Hacks that I got to write with my best friend, Angie Bailey. We're just a couple of Gen X ladies that we grew up as latchkey kids, as probably a lot of people our age did, in front of the TV a lot while our parents were working. And usually we came from broken homes, a lot of that going on back then. And so we spent a lot of time after school in front of the TV or at night in front of the TV, falling in love with these perfect looking 70s and 80s families. And one of those families was, of course, the Ingalls family from Little House on the Prairie. I think it was just the Brady Bunch, the Partridge family, all those families were just so perfect, right? And even when bad things happened, they came together and they got through it all together. And of course, there's no better example of that than Little House on the Prairie and the Ingalls, how they came together. And that's really what we loved. And this was during the pandemic. And we thought, what if we talked about the modern pioneer? Because a lot of the things they did back then, a lot of people kind of want to get back into connecting with each other and, being more sustainable and simplifying our lives. And so that's what our book is about. It's about hacking your life, like with all your everyday little things. And it's very humorous and fun because that's what we loved about Little House on the Prairie, that not only were there great life lessons, but also very silly and fun stuff on it. And so yeah, that's my book that I have out there in the wild right now. You can get it in any of the bookstores out there. And then of course I read the tarot, and recently started diving into reading tarot for people who write. As a writer, I am also writing my own fantasy novel, which is a whole new thing for me. I've only done nonfiction So it's kind of a new journey for me, and it's been really fun. And I started using the tarot with my story, actually, after I had someone request a card, not for them, but they wanted a card for the character of the story they were writing. And that just lit me up. And again, it got me getting the story out of my head that I wanted to write, because I wanted to use the tarot to help me through it. And it has been a life-changing experience. And of course, I've realized that the tarot can be helpful in so many creative ways, not just fiction writing. So those are the things that I talk about. Those are the things that I do. And another reason I wanted to hop on and say hi is because I've sort of had this aha moment in the past couple days. Um, I mean, where do we even begin with where the world is right now? I think probably if any of you have found your way to me on Substack and you're watching this video, have read my newsletter, you know where I stand with all of this. And I'm not apologetic about, how I feel. It's a bunch of bullshit. A lot of us are fucking angry and we don't really know what to do with ourselves in so many ways. And I try to keep away from a lot of that stuff in social media and all of that. And I'm lucky enough that a lot of my social media threads or reels or accounts tend to be pretty much people that are in my bubble, and that makes me happy. But once in a while, one of them will sneak in. And just this morning, I came across this woman saying, I don't care who the president is. We need to have respect for them, blah, blah. We've all heard this story. We need to be together. We need to be united. Everybody is so divisive, blah, blah, blah. And it just frustrated me so much, because I'm sure, like all of you, we're over that, but it wasn't an easy road. Like, if you are like me, you are someone that, and I think a lot of women tend to be like this, we're people pleasers, we're nurturers, right? So in the beginning, when all this stuff happened, a lot of us who actually care about others and have compassion and empathy, we were conflicted, because we're like, okay, but as nice, good people, we should see the other side, and we should at least try to engage and try to understand and all of that kind of thing. And it's hard to step back from that. But I think a lot of us have gotten to the point where we're like, no, it's time to be divisive. That's kind of what we need to be right now. And it's sad to have to say that, but in other ways, I feel it's something to be celebrated. And it's hard to put into words, because it seems like I'm saying two different things at the same time. But I think, especially as women, again, we've been taught to be the glue that holds everything together. And then when it comes down to making decisions and whatever, then we just stand back and we let the men do all of that, right? No. No, that is not going to be the way it is anymore. Our world has always been so, different dynamics, different dualities, so different things coming at us at the same time. On one hand, it's saying, we all need to be together and we need to unite and support each other. And then on the other hand, it's saying, be independent, be yourself. Well, come on, people. They don't want us to be independent. That's a big lie. They don't want us to be independent. They don't want us to be ourselves. They want us to be white men who all think the same way. And, and then when we start getting the power to be ourselves, then they start freaking out, because we all know this is based on fear, right? It's all based on fear. They're scared because we're starting to get the power back, and they don't think that power can be shared. So anyway, I started thinking about this woman that posted this, and it actually made me sad for her, because I thought, deep down inside, this is someone who does feel like we do. They do want to do things for the right reasons, but they probably don't understand how. And this is going to sound really strange, but I think part of the work to do to get us back together and be united is to be divided. is to embrace that there are different parts of us that make us whole. And we shouldn't all be the same. Human beings have minds that are light and dark, and we like things that don't seem to jive together because we're unique. Otherwise, we may as well be animals, love animals, but they don't have the same brains we do. We may as well be machines, which is what they want us to be, so they can just turn us on and off and control us, right? Part of the thing of being a great human being is all the different aspects that each of us have. And, lately, Angie and I talk a lot about our book and how sometimes we think, oh my gosh, people are going to think if we love Little House on the Prairie and we talk about Little House on the Prairie, that we're a couple of trad wives or something. Couldn't be any farther from the truth. I mean, look, I'm wearing a Satanic Temple t-shirt. And that's kind of what I'm getting at, is that we can be all those things. I love Little House on the Prairie because it was a feel-good comfort. It's a, balm in the world right now. And there were a lot of amazing lessons about tolerance and inclusion and all of those things that the show was about. Yes, it was conventionally religious, but that really wasn't the point. My God, Michael Landon was Jewish, okay? And then the Satanic Temple. That's completely opposite, right? But if people really understood what the Satanic Temple stands for, one of their first tenets is about having empathy and compassion. They do amazing work like open free abortion clinics. They put money toward mental health and all of these things that, to me, that's the truth. That's the good stuff. And I love heavy metal music. I love dark EDM music. And I also love Karen Carpenter. And I also love yacht rock. And I'm not going to apologize for that. I love dark, spooky things. I love horror movies and skulls and horror books. The darker, the better. I love occult philosophy. I love questioning things. But I also love the color pink. And I love feminine, girly things. And I love being a woman. There's just so many parts of me that are so different. And I really want all of us to embrace that. And especially as women, I think we need to start not being apologetic for who we are, owning up to the different things that make us who we are, because we can be both. We can be all of it. We don't have to put ourselves in a box like they want us to do, right? In their box, especially. So I guess, again, what I'm saying here, to wrap it all up, it just really dawned on me how I am so passionate about that in my work more than anything. Yes, I'm here to help you all navigate your unexpected journeys because we're all on one, right? Like, if anything the world is teaching us right now, we're on an unexpected journey. But really what that comes down to is I really want people to start exploring, discovering, claiming and proclaiming who they are. And it starts with doing the work of figuring out who you are. Who am I? Are the things that I am or I think about or do, are they things that come from me or are they things that come from somewhere else? Are they messages that came from people that we grew up with or around? Are they messages from society? I think it's just so important now more than ever that we align with our true elemental selves. And that's where we do our work from. That's where we do our communications from. That's what we do any kind of relationship from. It all starts with you. And I'm very passionate about that now as a tarot reader, especially, of working with people to help them understand themselves, because everything starts with ourselves. Every relationship we have on the outside starts with us being who we are on the inside. And as a woman, I want us to be strong with who we are so we get to know who we are. And then we can go out there and, be a shining example for other women that are maybe like, I don't know. I really like that pink dress, but I've never liked pink before, so I probably shouldn't wear it. you know what? Do things, if you're not hurting anybody, do something that makes you happy. Don't let other people tell you who you are. And maybe you've changed. A lot of us, yes, I think there are certain things that we are the way we are, but also as human beings, we're supposed to grow and change, and that's really important. So I think it's good to check in with yourself every so often and say, am I still that same person? Have I changed? What other things am I noticing? What other things are kind of calling to me that maybe I'm not hearing? So that's who I am, people. And again, I'm so glad you're here. I'm going to start a little chat just to say hi. And I would love for you all to just introduce yourself and say, I'm so and so, and this is why I'm here. Either on Substack, on Pen and Tarot. Maybe you're working on something right now, like writing a book or a script, or just creatively starting to get into journaling, anything like that. I'd love to hear what you're doing. Maybe you're just here because you like to just, you know, skulk on other people's ideas, and that's great too. We're all here to learn. We don't have to be, creating things all the time. We can create in our mind and put that into action when we're ready, right? So again, thank you all for being here. Thank you for supporting me. I'm so glad you're here, and I hope to get to know all of you a little bit more as we're going along here. So take good care.